NBC 739 News this weekend. Coverage you can count on.
Well, finding work can sometimes be a tough task. And for some, knowing where to look is a challenge in itself. Up next, tips from this guy right there. Hi. Tips on how you can find a job coming up.
Well, it is a lot of work finding work, but there are some helpful tips that could help you find a job. And just as important as your resume could be your knowledge of the job market. And joining us this morning from Platt College is Professor Bernie Nofel with some helpful advice. Good morning, Bernie. Nice to see you this morning.
Good morning.
Why don't we start by talking about the current state of the San Diego job market? How tough is it right now?
Well, it is a competitive market. There's about 4.3% unemployment in San Diego right now. Despite the relative low rate, employers are still looking for quality candidates with current skills.
And we want to give those qualified candidates as much information as we possibly can. You talk about something that you call the hidden job market. What do you mean by that?
Those are jobs that aren't hidden in space. They exist, but they're hidden in time. Most employers only run want ads almost as an act of desperation. That's why only 10% of jobs actually reach the want ads. And so to be effective in your job search, it's essential that you have the relationships with employers that can allow you to tap into that hidden job market. Hidden because if all you do is look at the want ads, you'll never see them.
Well, okay, it makes sense in that you maybe can understand why employers just don't have the time to put out these ads, but I'm thinking I'm on the other end of it. How do I know the job exists if it's not being advertised?
It's about developing personal contacts. The employment relationship is like any other relationship. People tend to hire people they know, that they like, and they trust. And so an effective job search begins with knowing your own skills, how they relate to the world of work, and then being able to articulate that in developing relationships with employers before jobs reach the want ads.
It's not, well, I guess it's the old not what you know, but who you know concept.
It's actually who knows you, and we have the power to introduce ourselves. That's the key point.
Outstanding. Now, I would imagine, too, that it doesn't necessarily, I suppose when you talk about networking, not necessarily just specifically with the employer, but perhaps you have a good friend who has a contact that may be helpful to you.
There's not a bad person to know in the world of networking. Employers tend to first look at people they already know and have met. They secondly tend to go to their employees. Thirdly, they tend to go to external networking, career centers, universities, unions, trade associations. Only last do they go to the want ads. And so anyone within that professional spectrum and that occupational cluster you've identified is a good and vital person to know.
As we relate all of this to the San Diego job market, what are the top jobs available right now?
Two industries stand out locally: construction and healthcare. The entire spectrum of healthcare is expected to be in demand through the 2015-2020 because of the baby boomers. That includes right from entry-level positions like nurses' aides, the entire nurses' career ladder, LVN, RN, physicians, physicians' assistants, and construction is very hot. Something like 6,100 jobs in construction were added in San Diego in the last year. But it's essential that your career plan begin with knowing who you are and establishing a career goal, and then moving forward from there.
And as we wrap up here, I was going to ask you that as the final point, because you have 15 years of experience in coaching people. You know, what is the most important thing that you tell not only prospective job hunters but your students?
The most important thing is understanding who you are and moving forward from there, and not trying to convolute who you are based on what's available in the world outside. Start within, identify your goal, and then achieve that goal. That's the process to be effective in a career search.
All right. Well, not only are you a good professor, I'd imagine, but you're also quite inspiring.
The quality of someone's career.
And I guess that's part of it, getting people motivated to get out there.
It's essential.
All right. Bernie Nofel with Platt College. Thanks so much for being here. Some good tips there.
Thank you for having me.
And with that, Roy, we'll send it back over to you.
Yeah, nice energy. Thank you both very much.
Yeah.